Right, hey guys, what's up? It is optiprimecosplay. It's time for another Friday review. Note that some of these reviews, especially on books, are probably being released later than I've actually finished them. Just because, I have other reviews that I want to do as well while I'm reading. So keep that in mind. I probably have finished this book well before this review comes out on this channel. If you're interested in a small written review quicker, I do have a Goodreads account. I will link it in the description. But anyways, today I am reviewing The Burning Maze, which is book 3 of the Teials of Apollo series. Now, this book was actually pretty interesting to me in general. I think one of the main reasons why it was so interesting to me was because, to start out with, at the end of the last book, basically they teased that Grover Underwood was probably going to be a main character in this one. And that was definitely a thing. He was a main character. And I appreciated that a whole lot because, if you're unaware, Grover is definitely one of those book characters that I absolutely adored, from the moment he was introduced. He's a really good character, and I've loved seeing him develop over the years. So anyway, this book continues to follow Apollo after his fall to Earth as a punishment from his father Zeus. We have Meg McCaffrey as well. If you're not aware who she is, she's a child of Demeter, 12-year-old who, as part of his punishment, Zeus has required that, anything she commands of Apollo, aka Lester, he has to do regardless. So if she's like, go to sleep, he automatically falls asleep. There's no question about it. He literally has no say in whether or not he can disagree with it or not. He can't argue with it or not. If it's a direct order from her, he has to do it, whether he wants to or not. Anyways, this book actually surprised me a little bit because it is, the author does write juvenile fiction. So basically what that means is I believe the book is basically meant for ages 8 to 13. So normally heavier subjects, death, oppression, stuff like that doesn't really seem to come into contact in the books as heavily. Actually, before I go any further, let me point out that right now, this is your last chance to click off because there is going to be spoilers. Sorry, I don't do spoiler-free reviews. But anyways, so basically, why I'm going to say spoiler is, Jason Grace comes into this book, and, he was one of the ones from the Heroes of Olympus series. And he was a really good character. I really enjoyed him. Child of Zeus, sibling to Talia, just on the Roman side, so technically child of Jupiter, but whatever. So he comes into contact with this story as well as Piper McLean. And so what surprised me the most about this book was Jason ended up heroically dying, and it was kind of tragic. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I read that, my mind was blown. I was like, this is one of the Percy Jackson novels, right? This is juvenile fiction, right? But no, the way it was handled honestly reminded me a lot of Cassandra Clare in the way that she handles stuff in her young adult fiction books, which, if you're not aware of the general age range for young adult fiction, typically it's centered to those between the ages of 13 and 19. And if you want a good example of one of Cassandra Clare's books that probably I felt like I was reading when I was reading that part of this book, Clockwork Princess is literally the best example that I can give. Either Clockwork Princess or Lord of Shadows. But Clockwork Princess was more devastating, though. But, like, that was something that I was not expecting to read about in these books, is the author of these books has not really touched on death like that firsthand before. So it was kind of shocking for me. But I think that's one reason why this author and Cassandra Clare are two of my favorite authors, because regardless of the fact that they do write in two different age range genres, as they're like huge series, so like this is Percy Jackson Chronicles, and then you have the Shadowhunters Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. What I appreciate about them is with each series that ties into it, it feels like their writing matures as they as their longtime readers and fans mature with it. And that's something that a lot of authors don't think about, because I mean, originally when I first read the Percy Jackson series, I was 14. I am 20 now. I have I feel like these books have matured with me. And that's, I mean, that's saying something. And, you know, that's the kind of writing that I can really get behind, is when the author wants to realize, hey, my longtime readers are growing up. Each series should grow up with them. So it's definitely not something I thought I would read about in the series, but I actually appreciate the maturity that the author feels that we can take away from this. So yeah, I am now, well, now when I'm recording this video, on The Tyrant's Tomb, which is the next book, and already I'm kind of saddened because we're just bringing that up like in every chapter. And it's really devastating, but so anyways, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars just because that was really tragic and really sad. Otherwise the book is great, the plot is great, the character lineup is absolutely amazing. We get a tease that Reina Ramirez is gonna be probably a main character in the next book. I'm really excited about that. Reina is one of my other favorite characters. Feel like he knows this. But yeah, all in all, 4 out of 5 stars. I only docked 1 star off because that was really tragic and really sad and I hated it. But other than that, it's a really good book series. If you have not read Percy Jackson Olympian, Zeros of Olympus, those are definitely ones you need to start with before you come to Trials of Apollo, but I definitely recommend Trials of Apollo. It's you know, fast-paced, exciting, it's got a lot of details in it, so I definitely recommend it, definitely. And I'm going to try to do more book reviews like this one. I finally got my Bookstagram linked to my Linktree, so all my social media links for my cosplay and my Bookstagram and my Goodreads and all that is in the Linktree that I will leave in the description. If you have any questions about certain parts of the book, just feel free to drop them in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to answer them. And until the next review video or the next time I post or whatever, you know, stay awesome, stay kind, stay considerate, and go read a book, y'all. Bye.